The galaxy had grown used to wars, fleets, and battles that spanned light years. Species had fought, claimed, and lost countless systems. Entire fleets could vanish without a trace, and yet, the galaxy continued as if nothing truly mattered. But all of that changed the moment humans arrived. In the dark emptiness near the Zarian Nebula, alien scouts detected a strange energy signature. At first they thought it was a glitch, a harmless anomaly, but the sensors kept warning. Something massive was emerging from hyperspace. It wasn't small. It wasn't like any human ships they had studied before. It was colossal. It was impossible. Commander Vela of the Thraxian Armada stared at her monitor in disbelief. Her claws gripped the edges of the console. This cannot be, she whispered, her voice shaking. Hundreds of ships had passed through this sector, but never had anything like this appeared. The shape slowly came into focus. A battleship unlike any known in the galaxy. Its hull stretched farther than a dozen cruisers combined. It gleamed with a polished silver steel that reflected the stars. Its lines were elegant yet radiated power, as if the ship itself was alive. The human voice crackled over the universal translator, calm but firm, like a teacher addressing a room full of unruly students. Greetings. We have arrived. We advise all fleets to stand down. There was silence. No fleet moved. No engines hummed. No weapons fired. Every commander in the sector was frozen, trying to process what they were seeing. One ship, one single human ship, yet its size alone made it a threat no fleet could ignore. Vela's communicator buzzed. Admiral Kor, are you seeing this? Their hull mass is beyond anything recorded. The Thraxian commander's eyes were wide. Prepare. Defensive protocol, Kor replied, but even he sounded unsure. The humans were calm, almost gentle in their warning, but their calm carried weight. A dangerous weight. Scouts sent to probe the ship returned no data. Their sensors were overwhelmed by the ship's strange energy fields. It was as if the humans had created something alive, something that thought and reacted faster than any machine the galaxy had ever built. As the minutes passed, the sheer scale of the ship became clear. Its turrets alone were the size of entire cruisers. Its engines glowed with a steady blue light, promising speed and power far beyond imagination. Yet despite its strength, the ship made no aggressive move. It hovered, waiting, as if testing the courage of the galaxy itself. Alien diplomats attempted communication, sending messages filled with demands and threats. The humans responded simply, "We have come to warn. Violence is not our first choice, but we will not retreat." There was something in the tone, an unspoken promise that made even the bravest commanders uneasy. Below the surface of the ship, humans moved with quiet efficiency. Pilots adjusted controls, engineers monitored energy flows, and Captain Jaren watched the star systems ahead. He did not speak with anger or arrogance. He spoke with certainty. They don't know us yet. Let's make sure they never forget who we are. Back in the command centers of alien fleets, confusion turned into fear. How could one species so small in numbers create a vessel so powerful? How could they appear in a region so heavily guarded without alerting anyone? And most importantly, what did they want? The human ship slowly advanced, not with aggression, but with purpose. Every observer felt it, the presence of something greater than them, something they could not control, something that could change the galaxy forever. The first moment the Titan-class battleship revealed itself, the galaxy realized one undeniable truth. They had never faced anything like this before. Humans were not just another species. Humans were a force, a mystery, and a warning all at once. And the galaxy would never be the same again. The galaxy had never seen silence like this. No one moved, no engines hummed, no weapons fired. And yet fear spread faster than any battle signal. Every fleet in the Zarian sector knew something had changed. Something had arrived that could not be ignored. Admiral Kor of the Zalari Defense Council leaned over his holotable, eyes wide with disbelief. "They are bluffing," he muttered, though even he felt doubt creeping in. "There is no way one ship can overpower all our fleets combined." His officers nodded nervously, but their faces betrayed fear. Kor had faced countless enemy fleets in his life, yet nothing had ever shaken him like this. Meanwhile, the human Titan-class battleship, Resolute, moved with quiet authority through the nebula. Its enormous hull reflected starlight, glowing like a silent guardian. Human pilots inside its cockpits adjusted controls with calm precision, their movements almost synchronized with the ship itself. To any alien observer, it seemed like the ship had a mind of its own. A Thraxian strike group decided to test the humans. Dozens of missile pods fired at Resolute, confident they would make the humans pay for their arrogance. The missiles streaked through space like fiery comets, each one carrying deadly warheads meant to tear the human ship apart. But Resolute did not dodge. It did not panic. Its hull shimmered with a translucent shield that absorbed each missile. Energy arced across the surface, then released in a blinding pulse. One by one, the Thraxian engines sputtered and died, leaving their ships drifting, powerless. The strike group's commander stared in horror. Impossible. It destroyed our engines without firing a weapon. Alien fleets across the sector watched the scene unfold. Shock turned to awe. Whispers spread in every command center. One ship, and it can disable an entire fleet? The words carried disbelief and fear. In the vastness of the galaxy, one human battleship had rewritten the rules of war. Human diplomats sent a message that was as calm as their ship. We do not come to fight unless necessary. We urge all fleets to reconsider aggression. Stand down and avoid unnecessary conflict. The message was simple, but it carried power. In the galaxy, power was usually shown through destruction. Humans, however, displayed power through control, restraint, and precision. They did not need to fire to prove strength. Their presence alone was enough. Even scouts and spies sent to gather more information failed. Automated defense drones moved with quiet efficiency, immobilizing intruders without a single casualty. Aliens who tried to breach the hull were gently subdued, yet their fear remained. They had never faced a species that could be so deadly and yet show mercy at the same time. Captain Jaren, standing on the bridge of Resolute, watched the unfolding chaos in silence. He felt no triumph, no anger, only focus. We are here to protect, he said softly. But we will not be underestimated. His words carried over the ship, almost as if the ship itself agreed. Alien leaders began to question everything they knew. The humans were not merely another civilization. They were disciplined, precise, and frighteningly effective. Every prediction the galaxy had made about them was wrong. Every plan to intimidate or challenge them had failed. By the end of the day, the sector was quiet again, but it was a different quiet. Fear lingered, mixing with a strange respect. The humans had not fired their main weapons, had not even raised their shields fully, and yet they had already proven dominance. One ship, and the galaxy was learning a lesson it could never forget. The first shock of humanity had passed, but its echo would reverberate through the stars forever. Resolute floated like a sentinel among the wreckage of arrogance and doubt. The galaxy had seen humans, and it knew they were nothing like any species before. They were clever, strong, and patient. And most importantly, they were coming for a reason, and no one could predict what would come next. After the shocking display of power, the galaxy was restless. Fleets huddled in their command stations, leaders whispering urgently to one another. Every species knew the humans were unlike any they had faced before. One ship had single-handedly stopped a strike squadron, and no one could deny the truth. Humanity was dangerous. Yet they had not attacked indiscriminately. That fact puzzled every diplomat and general across the stars. Admiral Kor of the Zellari Defense Council convened an emergency meeting. Holographic screens flickered with images of the Titan-class battleship. We must communicate. They are not like others, but we cannot appear weak, he said. His voice was steady, but his mind raced. For centuries, no species had dared to arrive with a single ship and force the galaxy to reconsider its strategies. Humans had done just that. Meanwhile, envoys from various species attempted first contact. Messages filled the quantum networks with demands, threats, and questions. Why are you here? What is your purpose? Surrender or face destruction? One Zellari commander typed furiously. The human response was simple. We are here to warn. Violence is not our first choice. Stand down and reconsider your actions. The message spread across the galaxy like a wave. At first, many dismissed it. How could a single ship threaten entire fleets? Yet, as they recalled the Thraxian strike group, their disbelief turned into unease. Humans did not bluff. Humans did not exaggerate. They had already shown that they were both strong and precise. Ambassadors debated what to do. Some argued for negotiation, believing that humans could be reasoned with. Others urged war, insisting that no one should underestimate an alien species. The tension in every command center was palpable. Fear was creeping into every decision, whispering that one misstep could mean total annihilation. On board Resolute, Captain Jaren watched the alien responses with a calm, almost human patience. He did not see enemies or friends. He saw a galaxy on the edge of understanding something new, something it had never faced before. "We are not here to destroy," he said to his officers, "but we will not allow harm to come to the innocent. Prepare defenses, yes, but always with restraint. Remember who we are." The humans' calm precision was unnerving. Spies who had attempted to breach the ship returned shaken but unharmed, and their reports only increased the galaxy's fear. Humans could destroy fleets, yet they chose not to. Humans could strike without mercy, yet they offered a warning first. This made them unpredictable, and that unpredictability terrified the galaxy more than any weapon ever could. The aliens could not help but notice one other detail. Humans were not haughty. They did not flaunt power. They did not boast of victories. Every move seemed deliberate, careful, and controlled, even as the humans floated among them like giants. There was a strange humility in their actions, a reminder that they were willing to fight, but only for a purpose greater than pride or conquest. In the command chambers of multiple fleets, conversations changed. "Perhaps we underestimated them," said a nervous Andari commander. "They do not fight like we expect." "Their strength is different," his colleague nodded slowly. "Yes, they are patient, they are precise, and they are willing to wait. We cannot predict their next move." The galaxy had learned an important lesson in a single day. Humans did not need numbers, ships, or fleets to assert dominance. Their power was in their courage, their strategy, and their refusal to be controlled by fear. Negotiation was not weakness, it was their weapon. As the humans continued to hover in the nebula, watching silently, one undeniable truth settled in every mind. The galaxy had never encountered a species like this before. They had never faced humans, and the humans' warning was clear: underestimate us at your own peril. And somewhere on the bridge of Resolute, Captain Jaren whispered to the stars, "Let them learn, let them understand. Humanity does not yield, and humanity does not forget." The calm of the Zerion Nebula shattered at dawn. A rogue fleet from the Andari sector, unwilling to heed warnings, surged forward. Their weapons flared across space, missiles and energy beams streaking toward the Titan-class battleship. Their commander laughed, certain that one ship, no matter how large, could not stop them. But the humans aboard Resolute did not panic. Captain Jaren stood at the bridge, eyes calm, voice steady. "Focus, remember your training." Precision over panic. Defend, but never waste energy. His crew moved like one. Each action deliberate, each command executed without hesitation. The first wave of missiles hit the ship's shields, which rippled like liquid silver. The hull absorbed the impact, converting the energy into a counterpulse that disabled several enemy engines. Ships that had thought to strike first found themselves drifting, powerless. Shock turned into panic among the Andari commanders. One of them barked over the comms, "Impossible!" They stopped our fleet without firing a weapon. Resolute's railguns powered up with a quiet hum. Then, with deadly accuracy, beams of concentrated energy cut through the enemy's shields. One by one, the Andari vessels exploded in silent bursts, their crews scrambling to understand what was happening. Fighter swarms tried to overwhelm the human ship, diving in from all angles, but automated point defense lasers sliced through them like paper. Not a single human pilot faltered. From the observation decks of nearby alien fleets, whispers turned to gasps. One Thraxian officer muttered, "They are not just strong, they are perfect. Every move calculated, every attack precise. And yet they do not celebrate. They do not gloat." It was true. Humans fought with clarity, without rage, without fear, without hesitation. Even as destruction rained down on the rogue fleet, Captain Jaren did not raise his voice in triumph. Instead, he ordered squads to disable, not destroy, any ship that could still be saved. Humans were efficient, deadly, and merciful all at the same time. The Andari commander realized that their fleet was not just being defeated. It was being rewritten, as if the rules of war themselves had been changed. Minutes stretched into hours. The nebula glowed with the light of explosions, the silence of space punctuated by the shattering of ships. Yet through it all, Resolute remained almost serene, a towering sentinel of strength and control. Its shields shimmered, its guns never wasted a shot, and its crew moved with the calm focus of a single organism rather than hundreds of individuals. By the end of the battle, the rogue fleet lay shattered and retreating. Those who survived drifted in disbelief, unable to comprehend the force they had faced. Across the galaxy, the news spread instantly. One human ship had fought and defeated an entire sector's fleet. The scale of it was incomprehensible, and yet the humans had done it without a single casualty on their side. Captain Jaren finally allowed himself a small sigh. "They will remember this," he said quietly. "Not because we destroyed them, but because they saw what humanity can do when it decides to act." His crew nodded, eyes shining with pride and quiet satisfaction. Back in the command centers of alien fleets, fear and respect replaced arrogance. Humans did not fight like any other species. They did not rely on sheer numbers or overwhelming firepower. They relied on strategy, precision, and an unyielding spirit that refused to back down. One ship had shown the galaxy that humans were a force that could not be ignored, a species that could not be defeated by conventional thinking. As Resolute drifted through the nebula, its hull glowing faintly from absorbed energy, Captain Jaren gazed at the stars. Somewhere deep in space, other fleets were preparing to challenge them. But one truth remained clear: humanity had drawn the line. They had fought and they had won, not with anger, but with mastery. The galaxy had witnessed the first battle, and it had learned a lesson it would never forget. The news of the battle spread across the stars like wildfire. Every command center, every council chamber, every home in the sectors near the Zarian Nebula buzzed with the same word: humans. Aliens who had once laughed at Earth's tiny, distant world now whispered their name with fear and awe. One ship, one human Titan-class battleship, had changed the rules of the galaxy in a single day. Admirals and warlords huddled over holographic maps, replaying the battle. Every detail of the humans' strategy was analyzed, dissected, and debated. "They fight differently," an Andari officer muttered, his voice tight with disbelief. "They do not rely on numbers. They do not panic. Every move is perfect and merciful." Across the galaxy, a strange feeling grew. Respect, but it was mingled with fear. The humans were unpredictable, powerful, and patient. That combination was terrifying. Envoys from multiple species sought dialogue. Some came with trembling hands, hoping for peace. Others approached cautiously, trying to gauge the humans' intentions. The response from Resolute was always calm and clear. "We did not come to conquer. We came to warn. Violence is a last resort. Stand down or suffer the consequences." The word spread faster than fleets could travel. In some sectors, fleets halted their movements, unsure of what to do next. Humans had proven that one ship could dominate a fleet, and the galaxy had realized a terrifying truth: humans were not ordinary. They were clever, disciplined, and fearless. They were strong, yes, but their true power lay in their minds, their strategy, and their unshakable will. Back aboard Resolute, Captain Jaren observed the reactions quietly. The bridge hummed with the calm efficiency of the crew, but he felt the weight of responsibility pressing on his shoulders. Humanity had entered the galaxy not as conquerors, but as a force that demanded attention. "We have shown them who we are," he said softly, almost to himself. "Now they must decide. Do they respect us or fear us?" The galaxy responded in both ways. Fearful fleets reinforced their defenses, preparing for a species they barely understood. At the same time, diplomats who once ignored humanity now sought alliances, eager to learn, to cooperate, to survive. Across star systems, tales began to spread. Pilots told stories of Resolute's calm precision, of missiles stopped mid-flight, of enemy engines disabled without a single human casualty. The legend of the Titan-class battleship grew overnight. Even in the shadows, spies and mercenaries whispered. "One ship," they said. "One ship against a fleet, and they won. We must learn their ways, or we will perish." The galaxy had entered a new era, one in which humans were no longer a distant curiosity. They were a presence to be reckoned with, a benchmark that no species could ignore. Yet amidst all the awe and fear, there was something more. Humanity had shown that strength could be paired with mercy. They had fought with precision, yes, but they had also protected those who could be saved. That combination, power and honor, created a ripple of admiration across civilizations that had long grown cynical and cold from war. In the vast darkness of space, some fleets began to reconsider old rivalries. If humans could fight with discipline, courage, and restraint, perhaps other species could aspire to the same. Perhaps the galaxy could learn from them, rather than merely fear them. Captain Jaren looked out at the stars, a faint smile crossing his face. Humanity had revealed itself not through conquest, but through the undeniable clarity of purpose. One ship, one crew, one battle, but the message was clear. Underestimate humanity at your own risk. The galaxy had witnessed the arrival of a force unlike any other, and the legend of the Titan-class battleship would echo through the stars for generations. Across the galaxy, whispers of humanity's Titan-class battleship had reached the ears of the most powerful warlords and coalitions. One by one, fleets from hostile sectors united, forming a massive armada to crush the humans once and for all. Millions of tons of warships surged together like a tidal wave, engines blazing, weapons primed. Their commander, a ruthless Andari warlord, grinned with confidence. One ship cannot stop all of us. Humanity will fall today. But Captain Jaren and the crew of Resolute did not tremble. They had faced impossible odds before, and they would do it again. The bridge hummed with quiet focus. Pilots checked systems, engineers monitored shields, and officers plotted courses with absolute precision. There was no fear, only determination. Jaren's voice was calm, steady, like a beacon in the chaos. They believe size wins. Let's show them strategy, courage, and control. The enemy fleet struck first, firing volleys of missiles and energy beams. Space around the Titan-class battleship erupted in a storm of fire, yet Resolute seemed untouchable. Its shields shimmered like liquid glass, absorbing, redirecting, and dispersing attacks with incredible efficiency. One by one, enemy engines were disabled, their weapons jammed, and their formations shredded. The humans did not waste energy. They struck where it mattered most, precise and unforgiving. Enemy fighter swarms dived toward the ship, attempting to overwhelm its defenses. Automated point defense lasers sliced through the attackers effortlessly. Human pilots engaged only when necessary, targeting key vessels to turn the tide. Every move was calculated, every attack deliberate. The Armada's commander watched in disbelief as his massive fleet began to falter. How, one ship? He gasped. Impossible. Even as explosions lit the void, Captain Jaren focused on protecting the innocent. Ships from allied species trapped in the chaos were shielded, guided to safety and defended with relentless precision. Humanity's power was not just in destruction, it was in control, in mercy, and strategy. The enemy fleet could destroy, but humans could protect, counter, and strike with unmatched clarity. Hours passed, and the battle stretched across light years. Millions of tons of ships clashed against one vessel, yet Resolute remained undefeated. Its railguns fired with unerring accuracy, targeting command ships, engine cores, and weapon arrays. Enemy formations broke apart like sandcastles before a tide. Every maneuver of the humans revealed one truth: they did not fight recklessly. They fought to win, to survive, and to enforce order. Finally, the remaining enemy ships attempted a desperate retreat. Their commander stared at the Titan-class battleship, broken, humiliated, and terrified. Humanity had not just won. They had shattered an impossible coalition. Across the galaxy, survivors carried the story of one ship that had faced a tidal wave of enemies and emerged victorious without cruelty. Without panic and without flaw, on the bridge of Resolute, Captain Jaren exhaled. They will remember this, he said quietly. Not just our strength, but our purpose. Humanity does not fight to destroy. We fight to protect, to endure, and to remind the galaxy that we will never be underestimated. His crew nodded silently, pride shining in their eyes, knowing they had done the impossible. The galaxy itself seemed to acknowledge the humans' triumph. Across countless systems, the fear of humanity was now tempered with awe. The Titan-class battleship was not just a weapon, it was a symbol. A symbol that humans were patient, clever, strong, and merciful. They were not a threat to be ignored. They were a force of nature, unstoppable and unyielding. And as Resolute drifted among the remnants of the defeated Armada, its hull glowing faintly from absorbed energy, one thing became clear to every observer. Humans were not like other species. They were beyond calculation, beyond expectation, and beyond fear. The galaxy would never see the universe the same way again. When the battle ended, silence stretched across the stars. The armada that had sought to destroy humanity was shattered, scattered, and broken. Survivors drifted through space, unsure whether to flee or bow. Entire fleets had witnessed the strength, precision, and mercy of a single human Titan-class battleship. And across countless worlds, the galaxy felt something it had not felt in centuries: awe. Captain Jaren stood on the bridge of Resolute, gazing at the nebula's glow. The ship hummed around him, alive with quiet energy. He felt no triumph in the destruction, no joy in the defeat of their enemies. Instead, he felt responsibility. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, and the galaxy was watching. One mistake could change everything. "History will remember this day," he said softly. "Not for our victories, but for what we represent." Indeed, the galaxy had learned many lessons. One ship could defeat a fleet, yes, but more importantly, one species could change the way others thought about power, honor, and courage. Humans did not conquer for pride. They did not fight for revenge. They fought to protect, to endure, and to ensure that no one underestimated them. Across the stars, legends began to grow. Pilots told of missiles that vanished mid-flight, of engines disabled without a single shot fired, of humans who faced impossible odds with calm, unwavering focus. Children on distant worlds whispered the name of the Titan-class battleship with wonder. Scientists, politicians, and warriors alike marveled at the humans' discipline and ingenuity. Humanity had become a symbol, not of fear, but of possibility. Even those who had once opposed them could not deny the truth. "They are beyond our calculations," a Thraxian admiral admitted, his voice trembling. "Their strength is not only in firepower. It is in mind, courage, and patience. We cannot fight them as we fought others. We must respect them." And respect became a new word in the galaxy. Fear remained, yes, but it was tempered by understanding. Humans had shown that they could dominate without cruelty, protect without weakness, and fight without hesitation. That combination was unmatched, unforgettable, and unstoppable. On Resolute, Captain Jaren's gaze lingered on the stars. "We have revealed ourselves," he said quietly. "Now the galaxy knows. Humanity will never yield. Humanity will never be underestimated, and humanity will always rise when challenged." His officers nodded, each feeling the weight and pride of their species. They had become more than warriors. They had become legends. Humanity had shown that courage, intelligence, and restraint could outmatch any army, any strategy, any fear. One ship had rewritten the rules. One species had rewritten the expectations of the entire galaxy. As fleets retreated, whispers spread of the humans who fought with honor and precision, the humans who never sought unnecessary destruction, the humans who had emerged from a distant world to challenge the very limits of the galaxy. Tales of Resolute would be told for generations. Art, music, and stories would remember the day humans arrived and reshaped everything. Captain Jaren finally stepped onto the observation deck, feeling the vastness of space surrounding him. He thought of Earth, of home, and of the countless humans who had built this moment. Humanity had arrived not as conquerors, not as tyrants, but as a reminder that determination, courage, and intellect could rise above the stars. The Titan-class battleship glimmered in the darkness, a sentinel of power and hope. The galaxy had never expected humanity, and it would never forget them. Across the stars, a single truth echoed in every mind. Humans were not just another species. Humans were a force of nature. Humans were unstoppable. And somewhere in the quiet hum of Resolute, Captain Jaren smiled. Humanity had revealed its strength, its heart, and its legacy. The galaxy had seen the impossible. The galaxy had learned to respect the name of humanity, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter, honoring a species that had dared to rise beyond expectation.